Okay, we're on to public comment. How many speakers do we have?
We have 20 speakers.
Okay, 2 minutes each.
Okay, I will call your names and ask you to come to the front where we have reserved seats. I'll call 5 people at a time and then repeat your names one more time to make sure that you've heard. We're going to start with Jacqueline Majors.
Please come to the front. If they call your name, come to the front. First 5 people sit in the reserved table.
Tony Favela, Catherine Mercurio, Ben Steinberg, Karen Scheibeck.
Okay, can you please come to speak, Ms. Majors? Yeah. The seats that say reserved, please, people sit in those seats. Okay, go ahead. 2 minutes.
Good evening, Board. I am Jacqueline Majors, the team coordinator for the JMA Richmond Bulldogs travel team. I am here tonight to present our outstanding young men from the West Contra Costa Unified School District schools, who will state who they are and what school they represent. When I am done, we took our first road trip to Carson City, Nevada, June 22nd through the 24th for the Midnight Madness baseball tournament, where our boys took second place. I would like to present, thank you. I'd like to present Brandon Frezes, my son, who is the team manager and head coach and creator of the travel team here in Richmond.
Good evening, Board. I'm the team manager, Brandon Frezes, and I started the travel team last year because when I was coaching 12, 13-year-olds, I just found that there was a lot of out cities that did not want to participate in any sports coming from Richmond. So I had basically created this travel team, and can't no one tell us no where we want to go and where we want to play. Now I'm saying, well, primarily my mission is for these children that are growing is, you know, through high school to be able to support them, guide them along, keep them out of trouble, keep them motivated, and to assist them in, you know, going to colleges of their choice, try to achieve scholarships, you know, to play the sport that they love best. And I'd like to also present 2 of the boys who hit home runs during our tournament. And one is David Dunbar, who attends Pinole Valley High School. And the other is Antoine Martinez. And I would like to pass the mic back to our backbone of the team and our biggest supporter.
Okay, because we're going to have to keep going, but introduce them and then we'll move to...
So I'm just going to let the boys just get up, say their names and what school they attend.
Okay, come on up, you guys. Come on up. Let's get it going. Just say your name.
D'Angelo Alexander, Pinole Valley High School.
Great.
Freshman.
Khalil Ferguson, Sac State College freshman.
David Dunbar, Pinole Valley, 9th grade.
Ernest Lemieux, homeschool.
Max Sarah, Sanford High School.
Ernie Timotel, Kennedy High.
Jonathan De La Cruz, Richmond High.
Armando Gomez, Richmond High School.
Ricky Hernandez, De Anza.
Antoine Martinez, Pinole Valley High School.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's give a big round of applause to the Bulldogs. All right, keep it up the good work, you guys. Great work. Thank you for coming tonight. Glad that we could have you guys identified and keep us informed of what you do. We look forward to hearing more about you. Thank you for coming out tonight.
Okay, Tony Favila, and I want to recommit to the parcel tax. I told you via email I will do everything within my power to bridge the 1% that didn't vote for it. So anyway, I'm recommitted, and I think I will help make a difference, so please put the parcel tax on the ballot.
I'm Catherine Mercurio, and I'm a parent sharing her personal perspective who has been actively involved in the school district for the past 8 years. California is ranked 49th in this country in per pupil spending, which is appalling. When our state continues to reduce funding of education, our school district has to cut programs and our students suffer. When our state reduces funding, we have to find funding at the local level. We need to encourage new revenue at both the state and local level if we are to improve the quality of education in our district. I ask that the board formally endorse both the Molly Munger and Governor Brown tax initiatives, which will be on the November ballot. I believe that our district's voters need to hear that you are continuing to advocate for increased funding from the state. I also ask that the board support a local parcel tax only for the November ballot that both renews and increases the existing parcel tax. Finally, I request that the board provide more opportunities for dialogue with members of our community throughout the district. Meetings that allow for meaningful discussion can aid in unifying our district with the common goal of supporting all our students, pre-K through adult. We need to build both financial support and community. Thank you.
And as Mr. Steinberg works up, I will call 5 other names: Dakota Harris, Shamara Rogers, Kelly Garcia Barfield, Phoenix Bryant, and Idrissa Farrell. Let me say those names one more time.
Please come up and sit in the reserved chairs because we need to keep making sure that everybody comes up. Say the names again.
Dakota Harris, Shamara Rogers, Kelly Garcia Barfield, Phoenix Bryant, and Idrissa Farrell.
Okay, Ms. Steinberg, 2 minutes.
Thank you. I'm Ben Steinberg, the parent of a soon-to-be second grader at Mira Vista, and I'd like to update you on the community-wide grassroots campaign team that is mobilizing for the upcoming parcel tax campaign. Only 5 days ago, we held our first meeting with many parents and community members and others, including board members Antonio Medrano and Tony Thurmond in attendance, as well as our superintendent, Dr. Harder. We believe that there is an urgent need for much, much greater community involvement and support for our schools. As the president of a new family-led community effort to support our public schools, I am here to let you know formally that we will be urging you to support a parcel tax initiative only, and that be placed on the November ballot. This is the best way to support our teachers and our children in our classrooms. Why now? Measure K came ever so close to winning, but it still lost. Our school district is still in such desperate financial need. We need to be addressing this as our highest priority. We made great success with Measure K. Now let's build on that momentum. As a community and family-driven effort, we need everyone's help. The people behind me, please stand up if you can to show your support for our parcel tax initiative. This is a small representation of the group that's working on this. If you are at home watching this on your television, we need your help to mobilize this campaign. To get involved or to contribute, please call our campaign phone line, 255-1834. Again, 255-1834, or email WCCUSD@parceltax@gmail.com, or WCCUSD parceltax@gmail.com. We're going to win this. Thank you.
Hi there, I'm Karen Shebeck, and I'm just sharing my personal perspective. There are a lot of things going on in November that could have an impact on our students. To me, the highest priority is to maintain the parcel tax for the programs inside our schools. We expect a 70% voter turnout in a highly democratic school district that recently demonstrated 65% of support for such a measure. I feel we can do this. People wonder about bonds. During my outreach to family and community members during Measure K, people initially had a strong negative reaction about buildings until I clarified that the parcel tax paid for programs and teacher salaries. Then folks came around. This is not to say that the schools that were taken off the closure list don't deserve seismically safe schools, just that this isn't the time to muddy the waters. We basically have 1 in 4 year opportunity to hit that 2/3 requirement for a parcel tax with the November presidential election. Some folks wonder about waiting to see what happens with the statewide initiatives. The state is not so highly democratic. Munger taxes nearly everybody, but brings huge revenue increases. I think nearly 30% of our current revenues for the district. If it passed, we could move way up from 49th in funding for K through 12 education. But because it is a new, broad income tax, it faces heavy resistance. At the very least, the Brown Initiative has to pass, and I'm glad our teachers union and teachers across the state are working for that. I think it will just keep our funding where it is right now and where we still need a parcel tax. Lately, I've been talking to families across the district. I recently had a chance to talk with Richard Maldonado, a parent from Hercules who'd been involved in the Ohlone PTA for 10 years. He told me I could use his name tonight because he supports efforts to reach out to his community. Just one second. He reminded me that a long time ago, he asked a school board member.
Please conclude your remarks. Next speaker is Dakota Harris.
Good evening, board members. My name is Dakota. I am 9 years old and I attend Bright Futures. I didn't appreciate how a man at the El Cerrito Theater spoke to Miss Ivy in front of all the innocent daycare kids. He had no right to talk to Miss Ivy or us like that. I also didn't appreciate when he disrespected our skin tone. None of us appreciated that, especially me. This made me feel like stories I read from the 1960s about Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King having to say yes sir and no sir, even though you and the person equal and should be treated as such. It made me feel that even though it's 2012, we still have a long way to go. I also had a lot of fun at the award show because they make me feel empowered.
Okay, the next couple of speakers that are standing up there, you can just go one after the other. So Shamara Rogers is next, and then Kelly Garcia Barfield would go after her.
Good evening, board members. My name is Shamara, and I am 8 years old, and I attend Bright Future. A man at the El Cerrito Theater said to Miss Ivy to say she should say yes, sir, to him, and he was yelling and rude to Miss Ivy. It made me feel bad to see him be mean to Miss Ivy, because Miss Ivy is always nice to me. I love the show. I get to sing and dance and act, and I make my family proud of me.
Good evening, board members. My name is Callie. I'm 9 years old, and I attend Bright Futures. I didn't appreciate how Mr. Morocco talked to Miss Ivy because it was disrespectful. He was referring to us as you people, and he was cutting short our rehearsal time. I didn't like how we didn't get to do all of our activities that we were supposed to do and all of our time in the El Cerrito Theater. It was also rude how Mr. Morocco spoke to the children in front of Miss Ivy and us. He does not deserve to scream at us and refer to us as you people. Thank you.
Good
Good evening, board members. My name is Phoenix. I am 12 years old, and I attend Bright Futures. The reason I am here today is to inform you that Miss Ivy has been disrespected by Mr. Morocco. Also, we did not have enough mics for the show, and during our rehearsals, it was very hot in the theater. We also was not able to finish our stage rehearsals and was forced to rush through them. I enjoyed being in the show, but I don't enjoy being mistreated. I feel that I was treated this way because of my skin color. This is why I came here today for your help.
Dear board members, my name is Idrissa Farrell. I am a parent and a representative for Bright Futures on behalf of Ms. Ivy Winston. Bright Futures just had its 18th awards performance this past June at the Cerrito High School Theater. The kids worked very hard to make this event as memorable and exciting as possible. Despite all of the hard work that the children and staff have put toward the success of the show, several incidents occurred which make us all feel that certain individuals have attempted to sabotage our production. From our experience with renting the theater in 2010, we knew to submit our permits well in advance of the performance. Less than 1 month before the show, we were informed by Rina Prasad that we were not allowed to use the student technicians who facilitated our show last year with the district staff. The theater rental price was raised tremendously because our technical staff was limited to Jack Morocco and his crew. We were not authorized to use our own professional technicians as we have in the years before 2010. Rina Prasad tried to pass off falsified documentation regarding our permit on the first day of rehearsal, which took away from our rehearsal time. After she insisted that we did not have the correct permit, we found the valid permit in Rina's possession. At this point, we were still waiting for the district staff to procure the list of equipment available to use for our production. This equipment list never materialized, although it was promised at least 1 month before the show. Our rehearsal times were cut short. Mr. Morocco made last-minute changes to lighting, sound, and curtains. Mr. Morocco even gave a third set of lighting and curtain cues during our consultation because he did not have the adequate staffing or equipment. In addition, he yelled racist and derogatory remarks to Miss Ivy in the presence of the children because for the safety of the kids, a chair was placed in a passageway to prevent the children from falling in the orchestral pit. He insisted that it was a fire hazard. We had a fire inspector come check it out. It was not a hazard. Mr. Morocco also accused one of the musicians of taking his equipment. This equipment was later found in the theater by one of the students. Mr. Morocco did not apologize about the equipment or to the musicians he accused. During the whole week of rehearsal, there was no air conditioning in the building.
The next 5 speakers are Genevieve Nutt.
I think because we're going to have to let the other speakers sit in the reserve seats. So.
Byron
Can the other speakers come up with the reserve seats?
Simmons.
Okay.
DeAndrea Farrell, Thomasina Horsley, Rick Alexander. I'll repeat those names one more time. Genevieve Nutt, Byron Simmers, DeAndre Farrell, Thomasina Horsley, and Rick Alexander.
Good evening. My name is Genevieve Nutt. I'm here to testify on behalf of Bright Futures. I am the vocal coach there, and I have been with the school for 2 years. Last year's performance at El Cerrito High School, they were given a lot more equipment, microphones on the piano. Compared to this year, some of the equipment was withheld, and it definitely hindered the children's ability to perform as well as they had rehearsed throughout the entire year. So I'm just here to support Bright Futures and to be a witness. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Brian Simmons. I'm Director of Music for Bright Futures. I've been Director for about 2 years now. Here to talk about our experience at the El Cerrito High. Last year, it was pretty smooth. Definitely some issues, but this year was definitely rougher. like last year we were able to go through all our rehearsals, you know, do everything fine. And this year they wouldn't let us set up until 9:30 when we had our permit set for 9 o'clock. Last year I had a grand piano that was in tune. This year they gave me like a crappy upright that the students written all over and said you might want to get it tuned. And I mean, as a professional pianist, like, you know, I don't know, that wasn't cool with me. And then on top of that, in the middle of our rehearsal, I forget what the issue was, but it was an argument that happened between Mr. Morocco and Miss Ivy, and he told us to refer to him as, well, yes sir, no sir, and then he, you know, the you people. And yeah, that just wasn't cool. It wasn't a good experience. Thank you.
Good evening, board members. My name is DeAndrea. I am 11 years old, and I attend Bright Futures. Mr. Morocco, a worker at the Cerrito High School Theater, was being very disrespectful to Miss Ivy. He called us you people, and he was being very racist. He also said Miss Ivy should answer him yes sir, no sir. Why should Miss Ivy have to call him sir if she is also an adult who deserves respect? We as children are taught to say yes sir, no sir because we have to stay in a child's place. But Miss Ivy is not a child, so why should she have to refer to him like that? The incident made me feel bad for Miss Ivy because she didn't deserve to be treated that way. It also made me feel like he wanted to talk down to her because of her race. I am happy to constantly participate in the show because we can prove to everyone that anything is possible. I am proud to be a part of something positive. I'm sorry my brother wasn't able to make it, so I'll be reciting his statement also. Good evening, board members. My name is Daniel, and I am 9 years old, and I attend Bright Futures. I didn't like how the man was talking to Miss Ivy. The man was wrong to say you people to all of us. That was very mean. He should have said something else instead of yelling at Miss Ivy. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Thomasina Horsley. I'm a parent of a student in the school district. I would like to thank Bright Futures and the organization and the children that participated in an excellent performance. I wish more of you could have been there. Bright Futures brought forth an objective of professionalism and a show of fairness. Adults need to heed what they learned and what they are learning. On the day that I went to practice, you want to teach the children something, first of all, start off on time. The staff did not have any of the equipment there on time. I was there on time, and I saw this for myself. Secondly of all, the piano. As you brag about El Cerrito High, the piano was a piece of junk. My son ushered in Bright Futures with 15 minutes of classical music to a raggedy, untuned, and reportedly from your staff couldn't be tuned piano. I just want you to know this, the school that you brag about. I also want you to know that many of these students here attend this district. And if you want their votes and their parents' votes, you need to think about them as human beings, and so should you vote for, and so should you have their organization look at them as human beings also. None of us are you people. Whether it's the educational system or it is the use of the buildings, they belong to everyone in this district. I just want that to be known. Bright Futures represents the children of the future. So far, they aren't among the high dropout lists that West County talks about. They are among the children who are going to be our future, and we hope that you respect them as such. Stop choosing the children that you think have dreams. They all have dreams. Start educating them all. Anything that is positive, please give it to them. Thank you.
And Mr. Alexander, before you start speaking, I'm going to call the next 5 speakers to come up. Scotty Smith, Brianna Dixon, Juanita Dixon, Ivy Roberts, and Kenneth Garone. One more time, Scotty Smith, Brianna Dixon, Juanita Dixon, Ivy Roberts, and Kenneth Garone.
Thank you. Good evening. I stand before the board and also Dr. Harder, Mr. Greer. My wife and I, we're supporters of Bright Futures. Bright Futures is an important entity in the community that supports our kids. And it's troubling to hear the kind of confusion that goes on with the people that Bright Futures have to work with. Now, a lot of the complaints that you're hearing about is really nothing new. It's the same dysfunctional format that's been going on for years. When we hire people that come from the outside that don't have no connection with the community, this is the kind of dysfunction that we get. And we need to resolve those kind of issues. Also, I want to remind you guys, too, that some of these kids' parents are still paying for the bond measures and also for the partial tax. And for them to be treated like that, you guys have to give some kind of explanation, unless you guys got the bait and switch going on where you just want our tax money to go and build up the Taj Mahal, but when it's time for the people to use it, who's doing something positive in the community, then there's a whole nother problem. So Dr. Harder and board, I wish you guys would just please get to the bottom of this. Thank you.
Yes, I'm Scotty Smith. First, I'd like to thank Sherry Gamby and Robert Studderford for their support in terms of the Bright Future production. Robert took time out to go to El Cerrito High after he heard about what was happening up there and, be my eyes and ears when I could not be there. So, but first, for the past 3 years, I've been associated with Bright Futures. Ms. Ivy and her staff does a wonderful job. The Bright Futures Growth and Development Center is a place where parents can leave their children and not have to worry about them in terms of their academics or behavior. They don't have to worry that because they're at work, if something happens at school, that they know that Bright Futures will be there. Ms. Ivy will be at the school to look out for the children. I was very disappointed and upset over all of the challenges that Bright Futures have had to face in terms of trying to access the El Cerrito Theater. I came to the theater on June the 27th, and I have to say, first of all, this really ticks me off, and I'm very emotional about this. I walked in because I had been told things were not going well. And when I walked into that theater and saw Rick Morocco on that stage yelling at Mrs. Ivy and telling her how sick he was of her, and he was about finished with her, and the only thing I want to hear from you is yes, sir, and no, sir. My blood ran cold. I thought, as a person growing up in the South and looking up on that stage, I wanted to strangle that man. But I waited until he left the stage, and then I told him he had no right to talk to her in that manner. And if he...
Good evening, board members. My name is Brianna, and I'm 13 years old, and I attend Bright Futures. A man named Mr. Morocco, one of the staff members, was being racist and rude. It really made me feel disrespected and less of a person. He was malicious towards Miss Ivy, telling her to say yes, sir, and no, sir. He wouldn't turn on the mics we needed, made us leave extra 30 minutes early, and didn't turn on the air conditioning. I like being in an award show because I like dancing and acting in front of an audience. Thank you.
Good evening, board members. My name is Juanita Dixon, and that was my daughter, Brianna. We are proud members of the Bright Future family and have been affiliated with them for over 7 years. I was impressed with Miss Ivy's love and devotion to the children and how she created learning avenues such as drama, which allows our children to express themselves through dance, acting, and song, as well as developing a sense of self-esteem, respect for others, and pride in oneself. I was saddened when my daughter shared with me that she witnessed Mr. Morocco, a staff member at El Cerrito High School, offensive and degrading behavior towards Miss Ivy in front of her and other children. I also learned that another staff member named Miss Passard, a few days before the annual show, created a lot of unnecessary stress and pressure by presenting conflicting prices for the use of their auditorium. I stand before you asking that something be done to resolve this type of confusion in the future. I also request that the actions of these individuals not be overlooked. We teach our children to be respectable to all. We tell them that in every action there is a reaction. Our children are looking to us. They are watching. Every day's actions are lessons to our children, and if this situation is overlooked, we are sending them the wrong message. Thank you.
My name is Kenneth, and I go to Bright Futures. I am in the show every year, and I like it. I didn't like the way the man was talking to us and Miss Ivy. Thank you.
Guess who I am? My name is Ivy Winston, and I first want to thank you all for affording us the opportunity once again to use the El Cerrito Theater. I'm going to pick off where Idrissa left off at in reference to the letter that she was reading. Mr. Morocco also accused one of our musicians of taking his equipment. This equipment was found, oh, she read that. During the whole week of rehearsal, there was no air conditioning in the theater. However, the control booth where Morocco sat was pleasantly air conditioned throughout the entire week of rehearsal up to and including the day of the show. On the day of the show, the air conditioning did not turn on until minutes before the start of the show. Even though there were so many incidents that threatened to stop the show went on as planned. I'm very disappointed in Morocco, Rena Passard, Keith Johnson, and their lack of professionalism. I expect more and got less. I'm requesting that the board direct the superintendent to investigate this matter and write a determination regarding procedures and policies in terms of community and student rentals of the theater. I just want to say quickly that the things that the kids are relating to you is very minimized. I've never, for the 18 years of working with the district, and I say work with the district because I put a lot of energy into the kids and family of this district. There's a lot of families that opt to leave the district that I encourage to come back, to fight for the district, to prove that we can be successful. And this experience was horrific. This is all minimized because they're all reciting and reading off the paper, but to go through what we went through, like I'm from New Orleans as well, it took me way back to Deep South. It was hurtful, it was painful, I bridled my tongue, despite the things I wanted to say, but we really need to investigate this. Agencies like myself and other agencies that enhance the district, you guys should really embrace us. Thank you.
So we have additional speakers: Charles Stewart, Al Kirkman, Ian Billings.
Mr. Ramsey, could I make a comment
Sure.
before the folks leave? Before everyone leaves, I want to apologize on behalf of the West Contra Costa Unified School District and apologize on behalf of El Cerrito High School. Your experience is not one that we're willing to tolerate, and I do take up Ms. Ivy's charge to go ahead and investigate this and make a report.
So I'll call those names again now. Charles Stewart, Al Kirkman, Ian Billings, Mauricio Duarte, Dylan Rotich, and Ether Rotich. Ethan.
Board members,
My name is Charles Stewart. I pastor a local church here in the city of Richmond, and I'm here on behalf of Bright Futures and Miss Ivy Winston. I have been associated with her for approximately 7 years. I've not met a more loving and dedicated person to children since my residency here in the city of Richmond. I am pleased to hear what Mr. Harder said, that basically kind of summarized my desire is that the incident be investigated, that this type of behavior not be tolerated. We are trying, when I say we, collectively, to do something very positive with our children and for our children, and to expose them to positive things and to encourage them and give them that you can. You don't have to settle for I can't, but you can. And that is what Ms. Ivy does over at the Bright Futures facility, where she engages all of the children, no matter how small to how large or old they are. She engages all of them and get them actively involved in participating in the things that takes place there. All types of learning exercises. And I just think that it is a terrible tragedy for such young, tender minds to experience such negativity. And I submit to the board today, please investigate this matter and take steps to prevent it from occurring in the future. God bless.
I'd like to think we're all a team working together. Many years ago, there was a Broadway play called Pajama Game. The workers wanted 7.5-cent raise. Now, last time we passed the parcel tax, we got 79% on 7.1 cents. And then it even fooled me, I'm guilty, when they said it's going to go up by 3 cents. I just, 3 cents. And I got to figuring it out after I had voted yes. It's a 42% raise for the parcel tax. Do you guys think we're idiots? I'm surprised we got 64%. We will support the parcel tax if you come back at 7.1 cents. Not 10.1, but 7.1. You're going to get a lot of resistance if you go past 7.1. I guarantee it. Now, Mr. Ramsey, I did take the liberty, and Americans can take the liberty, of apologizing to the city of Pinole for your tirade 2 board meetings ago about their being responsible for us not reaching the threshold. Pinole is a vibrant community. They're with us. They're willing to support us. So please don't say that to our community. Praise them, but don't despise them. So anyway, I apologized for us. Now, this money that we spend for the election, Mrs. Cronenberg. Now, don't tell me the money is not there. We could have sent all of our fifth graders to that 1-week camp in Livermore. Now, don't give me that nonsense, the money is not there. Start getting a backbone. Send our kids to camp where they belong.
Good evening. My name is Ian Billings, a 2011 graduate at Cerrito High School, and I'm here to give you some additional perspective on Jack Morocco. In February of 2009, we celebrated the completion of El Cerrito High School. The shining gem of the school was a new state-of-the-art theater. I soon found myself engulfed in a world that I never expected to be a part of, but one that would wind up changing my dreams forever. A few months after its completion, I heard someone was being brought in to manage and run the theater. I was ecstatic. This person could be a mentor, someone who could open my eyes to new skills and possibilities. However, that attitude didn't last. The man who I hoped would be a mentor turned out to be my worst nightmare. He didn't simply ignore me or refuse to teach me. He cut me off from opportunities and suppressed my creativity by inexplicably banning me from my school's own theater. He didn't stop there. He represented us, El Cerrito High School and the West Contra Costa Unified School District. Apologies. He didn't stop there. He represented us in the most unprofessional of manners to the numerous outside organizations that use the theater. And my senior year of high school drew to a close. A group of determined individuals band together to remove him. We were successful. A few months later, I moved to San Luis Obispo to pursue my dream of technical theater at Cal Poly, with the belief that future students would finally be able to grow as John Morocco, without John Morocco suppressing their dreams. However, just a few weeks ago, while photographing the event for Bright Futures, I encountered John Morocco once again. I wondered what he would say. Was he still harboring some kind of grudge, one he had never made clear in the first place? He had only a few words for me. He told me to get off the stage before I kick your scrawny ass.
Mauricio Duarte?
How many more speakers do we have?
3.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Mauricio. First, before I start, I'm going to read one of my students, Xavier. We're also from Bright Futures. He said, "Hello, my name is Xavier. I am 10 years old. The one thing I didn't like was when the man was arguing with Ms. Ivy at the Cerrito High School. He said, the reason I like going to Enrique's dance class, which is me, at Bright Futures, is because it entertains me and relaxes me. Another reason is that his dance class is great exercise." So this is one of our students. I just want to say, you already heard everything else that happened. So I just want to say, Ms. Ivy, I've worked with her for almost 4 years, I think, already. And it was when I was looking for a dance, a space to use for dance practice with me and my friends. And she opened the doors for us. And I wasn't from the area. And just to be a part of Bright Futures for almost 4 years now, it opened me up a lot. It helped me grow. And I remember when I was in high school and middle school, when I started to get in trouble, and, I used to go to Helms Middle School, Richmond High, and then Pinot. I didn't have none of this. I didn't have anybody that opened doors just like this and had a space for us and opened it up and let us do what we were meant to be in life. And all these kids here, they have a reason why they're here. They wouldn't be here if it wasn't important to them to let you guys know what we've been through and all the work we put together. And you know how this timer keeps going down, down, down? Our future just keeps going up, up, up. And really to us, we're going to keep on going no matter what, even if the district supports us or not. But we're here to let you guys know what we've been through, what these kids are going through. So when they grow up and be the age that I am now, they don't have to tell the story anymore. They can be either in your position and making things popping in a good, positive way, or maybe be the next president, whatever they got to be, whatever their dreams are. And that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Last 2 speakers. Dylan.
Good evening, board members. My name is Dylan. I am 13 years old, and I attend Bright Futures. The series of events which have occurred during the stage rehearsal of Bright Futures' annual award show have led to the disappointment of my expectations of the professionalism of the El Cerrito Theater's employees. I feel that the words that Mr. Jack Morocco stated have had an inappropriate effect on all the children that were present at the time. Despite this man's harsh words and aggressiveness towards Miss Ivy and the children of Bright Futures, we have managed to make a wonderful show for family and friends. The part about Bright Futures that I love the most is doing what you love with who you love. Thank you.
My name is Ashton O'Teague. Good morning, board members. My name is Ashton. I am 7 years old, and I attend Bright Futures. I felt sad and really bad when the man was yelling at Miss Ivy. He was really mean. Good evening, board members. My name is Ethan. I'm 10 years old, and I attend Bright Futures. Performing in the El Cerrito Theater was an exciting experience, but because of Morocco, also a dark one. Sad but true, he insulted us because of our skin tone. Not only that, he picked a fight with Miss Ivy, yelling in front of all these innocent kids. Who is he to yell at us? Who is he to be our master? We will yell He will yell, we will mute him, Morocco will stop.
That concludes public comment.
All right, thank you very much for coming. You heard Dr. Harder's response. Have a good evening, and it'll definitely be looked in. Board can't comment at this time on personnel matters, but I want to thank you for coming tonight. I did have a question for Catherine Mercurial. For me, I wanted to ask her something real quick.
Yes.
Does your group have a title yet or a name of the committee?
Yes, Support West County Students.
Okay, it's called Support West County Students?
Correct.
Okay. And I didn't, because there was a lot of people here, what's the group's position before the polling results, or is that just period, even without the polling results?
No, obviously the group would be very interested in hearing what the poll has to say, but certainly the group that met and that has been in communication is very supportive of a parcel tax only, one that is very similar to Measure K, what happened with Measure K.
Right, so they're saying the Measure K measure on the November ballot.
Correct.
Solely.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, thank you.